Oh, great. First day of art class. I'm so excited. I've got my palette, nice and clean and white. Looks great. Got my paints. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's go, baby. Alright, what color am I going to start with? Let's start with red. I love red. Here, this is, okay, not this one. Wait, oh, here. Perfect. Oh, that's hard. No good. Wait, here. Perfect, bright red. I think there's some still in here. No problem, beautiful. Anyone have pliers? Welcome back. My name is Gerard Bianco, and this is episode number 4 in the series 30 of the most common mistakes that artists make and how to avoid them. In this episode, we're going to tackle one of the most common mistakes beginning and intermediate artists make, which is choosing colors at random without any thoughtful planning. I've seen so many artists overlook the essential colors that they should always be on their palette, choosing instead buying colors they rarely use. Does this sound like someone you know? If so, fear not, for I shall guide you through building a carefully curated palette of 15 to 20 must-have colors. This palette will act as the backbone of your artistic toolkit, offering the flexibility to mix virtually any hue for any painting. With these colors at your fingertips, you'll gain greater control, consistency, and convenience in every brushstroke you make. I'll also dive into the art of palette organization, highlighting why it's crucial to place your colors in the exact same spot each time you paint. This simple habit lets you grab the exact color you need without a second thought, keeping your flow uninterrupted. By mastering this technique, you'll save valuable time and energy, letting you focus more on your creativity and less on searching for colors. Finally, we'll chat about how to store your paint tubes properly to avoid the common pitfalls of dried up tubes, leaky tubes, or caps that are impossible to open. You'll be amazed at how much this simple step will improve your workflow. By the end of this episode, you'll master the art of setting up a well-organized color palette, eliminating the frustration of a chaotic selection of paints. You'll unlock greater control over your painting process, freeing you to focus on what truly matters most, bringing your artistic vision to life with ease and with confidence. So, shall we go? Let's hit it. Here is my palette of acrylic colors. My oil paint and watercolor palettes are basically the same. different manufacturers, different names of colors. I'll leave a list of both in the description below. This is the palette I use all the time. Along with the colors, there are 3 different values of gray and 2 strips of titanium white. Each color has its own spot on the palette, its own home. It's where they live. That never changes. Even if I'm using a limited palette of only 4 or 5 colors during a painting session, I still sit those colors in their designated spots. These are the colors I work with all the time. Starting on the top left, we begin with ultramarine blue. Historically, ultramarine was made from the semi-precious stone lapis lazuli, which was mined primarily in Afghanistan. It's known for its intense, deep blue hue with a slight hint of purple. The color is vibrant, but it's also thin enough to use as a cool glaze. I use it often in the sky and when painting rich, deep green landscape colors. Next is light ultramarine blue, which is a softer, paler version of traditional ultramarine. As you can see, it's the color of the sky. I use it there and to create soft shadows and as a glaze to cool down warmer tones in the canvas. Third is cobalt blue. It's hard to come up with the name of an old master painter who didn't use cobalt blue. I love this color for its vibrant, intense hue. It has incredible mixing capabilities, making it the perfect agent to create stunning landscape greens and spectacular skies. Next is quinacridone magenta. I keep this pigment next to the cobalt blue because I mix them together so often to create magnificent shades of purplish gray, which works perfectly if you want to fade mountains or trees into the distance, provided, of course, you add a little touch of yellow ochre. Also, its transparent nature makes it an excellent agent to work as either an undertone and for glazing. The 5th color is cobalt green. It's hard to keep cobalt green off a canvas when painting landscapes. It mixes well with other colors, particularly blues and yellows, to create a wide range of greens and natural tones. Mixed with burnt sienna and a touch of white, it creates fabulous shadows in portraits. Speaking of burnt sienna, notice how I keep colors that I often mix together next to each other on my palette. That's not an accident. Burnt sienna is a warm, earthy pigment with a rich history in art. It has so many jobs on my palette, more than I can count. You can use it straight out of the tube in landscape painting, but its most important feature is that it mixes so well with other colors. There's not a color that I haven't mixed with burnt sienna. It is truly the most versatile pigment on my palette. Next is cadmium yellow light, which is a bright, vibrant, warm yellow pigment that I couldn't do without when painting landscapes. It mixes well with blues to create intense greens. It's wonderful straight out of the tube to create highlights in trees and bushes. Next is cadmium red light, which is a vibrant, warm red pigment that has many uses from portraits to landscapes. It's intense, so mixing a very small amount goes a long way. Finally, we have cadmium orange. This is a bold, vibrant color that mixes well with other pigments. Need orange or a bit of orange somewhere in your painting? Head on over to cadmium orange. It's never let me down. Coming down the right side of the palette, we have a color with lots of names depending upon the manufacturer. It's either unbleached titanium or buff titanium or titanium buff, and so on. I use this color a lot. It creates wonderful sand or gravel or light areas on a dirt road. It mixes well with other colors, and it can be used as a wash to create a toned canvas. There are so many uses for this color. I love it, and I use it often. Next to it is Naples yellow. This is a soft, warm pigment with a historical background. I've used it in portraits, landscapes, seascapes, and still life paintings. It can be used to depict sunlight, flesh tones, and warm highlights, and so much more. It mixes well, and it is a winner to have on your palette. Yellow ochre is up next. This is one of the oldest pigments used in art. It mixes beautifully with other colors to create rich greens and earthy oranges and browns. Add it to white to make a stunning flesh tone. I use it often and can't do without it. Next is burnt umber, a classic, versatile pigment with a rich history and a warm, earthy character. It's a delightful dark that I use often in landscape paintings and in portraiture. Someone has dark brown hair, out comes the burnt umber. Mix it with ultramarine for a really rich, dark, almost black color. From tree trunks to nostrils, burnt umber is my go-to color. Finally, we have Naphthol red light. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't usually put this color on my palette, but I wanted to include it here to mention this is the acrylic color I use when painting things that have a rich, deep red hue, where cadmium red light just doesn't cut it. Things like red roses or other flowers, fire engines, and other deep red elements. Over on the left side of the palette is light violet. Sometimes you just need purple, and here it is. You don't have to mix it, it comes right out of the tube. Light violet is a captivating color. I use it often as a glaze to tone down areas of yellow and yellow ochre. Mixed with grays, it's a color I use when painting mountains, trees, and other elements I want to fade into the background. It's a great color to have on your palette. Speaking of grays, I don't know if you know this, but gray is the artist's best friend. Grays can be used by themselves or used to tone down the intensity of any color. I always use 3 different values of gray on my palette, and I use them liberally with every painting. White. There are different whites on the market. I always use titanium white, and as you can see here, I lay it out in 2 strips. That's because I use my brush to mix colors, and one strip always becomes tainted with other colors. And finally, we have black. Like white, there are different blacks you can use. I use carbon black when I need black. I rarely use it, but it's in my paint box when I need it. Well, this is my permanent palette. I never deviate. And like I said before, the colors that are represented here can mix just about any color you'll need for any painting you'll want to create. What's interesting, I hadn't even planned this, is the color study that I did a number of years ago here is a perfect example of the colors I've always used. Look at the hair, burnt umber. In the darkest spots, burnt umber with a touch of ultramarine blue. The shadow side of the face, cobalt green and burnt sienna with a touch of white. Look at this highlight here, yellow ochre and white. Right below it, yellow ochre and white, and a touch of cadmium red light. Scarf, ultramarine blue. Look at this. It's perfect. My permanent palette. I stick with it. These are my best friends when I'm painting. Now, let's talk about how to store these wonderful colors of yours. Whether you choose my colors or your own colors, let's talk about how you're going to keep them, because you don't want to wind them up like this. Here is how I store my paint tubes. This is an art bin. The paints I use are stored in their own separate compartments, their own home, and they are stored in the same order as on the palette. So it starts with ultramarine blue, light ultramarine, cobalt blue, so on and so forth. Now, the only time I deviate is when there are certain colors I use a lot of, so I'll buy the larger tube. And those are stored in the bin in the bottom. Yellow ochre, Naples yellow, titanium white. Nice little bin, easy to travel with. Now, the reason why I store these paints this way is in case I run out of a paint and I need to replace it during a painting session. I don't want to be searching for this color. I don't want to be hunting around or leafing through a bunch of other colors. When they're stored in the same order as they are on the palette, I know exactly where to go, where to look for it. This way, it saves time, and it doesn't break my concentration and take me away from where it should be on the painting. Look, this is my system, okay? It may not work for you, so develop your own system, one that you can rely on each and every time you paint. One that will give you control over your paints from the tube to the canvas. Either way, it's important to understand that a consistent color palette is more than just a practical tool. It's an essential part of shaping your identity and work. The benefits of consistency in color usage such as speed, control, cohesion. These things can elevate the quality of your artwork, improve your creative process, and even help you define your unique work and style. While experimentation with color is vital for artistic growth, a disciplined approach to palette consistency can significantly enhance both the aesthetic impact and the efficiency of your practice. Use my colors as your permanent palette, or come up with your own. Whichever you choose, stick with it. Experiment with your chosen colors to gain a deep understanding of how they interact with each other. Learn their strengths, their mixing properties, and how they behave when you lay them side by side. This understanding and control of color will give you confidence and mastery throughout your painting journey. Well, that's it for this episode. Only 26 more to go. No, just kidding. Actually, I can't wait to be back with you. In episode 5, guess where we're going? We're heading to the pool room to talk about art. I know, strange, right? You won't want to miss that episode. Look, there's a lot of information in this episode. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, or send me an email. I promise I will get back to you. As always, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like and please subscribe. It really helps the channel. Till the next time, happy painting.